Moshi moshi.
Greetings Homo sapiens, lizard people, foxes, hounds and wolves. Welcome to my 2x2 size corner of the internet. I'm not quite sure or convinced that we need an introduction because one, I hate them. Two, who actually cares who I am? Everybody that cares, say I. I stand corrected. Some of you shouted I through your screen at home. In that case, my name is Halima X. I'm an artist and PhD student. Thank you for joining me today. Speaking of you, you look absolutely divine this evening. That colour and style of top you're wearing really brings out the relevance of post-colonial theory, and your face is absolutely ravishing. Jiminy Cricket, what a babe. If you've been following my channel over the past 7 months, you will know about my musical comedy series called If, a series where I create and play endearing and unusual characters that all communicate through song and musical scenarios and comedic sketches. It's called If because it's all about if I was a particular character in a very particular scenario. All work is written and performed by me, so do not steal it or I'll tell your mum, who probably watches the YouTube channel, because it's probably my mum watching this YouTube channel. Therefore, it can only be me that steals from myself, telling my mum, who would find this very strange, but is incredibly used to this. In today's video, I'll be talking about every character that I've created and played so far. There are currently 12, so let's get started with episode 1. If I was Anderson Park's funky sister. This character is called Bruchante de la Pasta, a woman with great experience as to what it's like to be in the shadow of her very talented sibling. At 34 years old, she's born and raised in California and holds a master's degree in the art of disagreement. Making content based off of the strangest experiences but rather catchy, Miss de la Pasta takes us on a funky journey of her musical encounter in which we are introduced to her memorable chorus, "He's a creep, he's a creep, he's a creep, he's a creep, yes love, he's a creep, he's a creep, take it to the choreography, yes love, he's a creep, he's a creep." Bruchante's costume cost me £0 to make as it consisted of things that I already had in my wardrobe. Episode 2. If I was the bard in a medieval tavern. Here we meet Hermelgetude Barthador. Now, Hermelgetude comes from a small town called Ipshinter, and she's recently moved to a town called Uta, or a tiny village, and she's taken up the job as the new bard in town. This episode is set in the year 1527. However, we notice that Hermelgetude, as she says in her introduction, has a little bit of a different musical style to the rest of the bards. I am the new local bard in town. My name's Hermelgetude, and I'm actually a little bit different to the rest of the bards. The musical style is progressive and comes from the 21st century. Rumour has it Hermelgetude is also the ex-love interest of Beowulf, rejecting his proposal for reasons unknown. But Beowulf is from the year 500. In the last season of the last episode of the If series, the Vampire Queen makes reference to how she should have killed Hermelgetude centuries ago. This leaves us with the question, how is this all happening? Well, spoiler alert, Hermelgetude is what I call a thornback. No, not the demoralising, derogatory and offensive word that people used to call unmarried women over the age of 26. That would be me. A thornback is a time-travelling musician. Funded by the joint universes of the Art Council and Goblin Kingdom, Hermelgetude is given the ability to travel and live throughout different time periods for the sake of documenting historical events and culture through art and music. She lives longer than most, but her actual age is unknown, but I would put her at 3,000 years old. She always poses as a woman between the ages of 26 to 28, as she started her job as a thornback at that age and remained there. Hermelgetude's outfit design was £24.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Episode 3. If I was the emo kid that likes a popular girl. Kyle Alto. The most popular episode of the series and a very well-received character. Kyle Alto is 16 years old and is absolutely besotted with popular girl Jennifer. During a conversation between the two, Jennifer tells Kyle that she doesn't think that Kyle is good at expressing his emotions, so Kyle then decides to write a song for Jennifer expressing his love and devotion for her.
Oh Jennifer, I love when you wear your hair like that. I'm bleeding now. Can't you just take me as I am? I'm broken, but highly motivated, and I'm devoted to being subjugated to your whimsical ways. I see all of my days living life on your lap.
The story is set in the year 2005 and they both attend Caplewood High School in a small town called Apple. Nobody has ever left the town and nobody has ever moved there. We are yet to hear Jennifer's response, but it will be coming during the current season too. Kyle Alto's outfit cost me £0 to make because I had the clothes in my wardrobe. Episode 4, If I Was Kate Bush's Awkward Cousin. Meet Flake Bush, the sweetheart of the series. Flake Bush, much like Bruchant de la Pasta, lives in the shadow of a talented family member. Flake Bush is the fictitious cousin of Kate Bush and is invited to a show to do an interview and share her new music video. During the interview, the producer of the show, Everest, tries to draw comparisons between Kate and Flake's work. Flake becomes agitated and insists that the two are nothing alike and proceeds to share her music video with the audience, which is interesting.
If you wanted to be blissful, why didn't you say? If you really wanted options, why didn't you stay? I'm surrounded by opportunity, but I'm conflicted with human tendency.
Flake's outfit cost me £3.50 to make, as I had most of the things that I needed, but then I needed to buy some accessories for her garden music video. Episode 5. If I was the thirsty guy that you met on a dating app. Wow, what an episode. The first episode where I introduced two characters at once and they both have a part, unlike Jennifer, who's off screen in Kyle's episode. Rashida, another sweetheart of the series, is looking for her perfect Muslim husband, and after trying to meet men in lots of different ways and having no success, Rashida joins a Muslim dating app where she meets Daquan. Neither of them know much about each other prior to meeting, and Daquan is a little bit older but a very likeable man that's more than slightly full on in his expression. Rashida, however, isn't opposed to this and seems to be very much into Daquan's creative expression. That is, until he says the following lines.
Don't matter that I've been divorced 26 times and live in my daddy's van. And it don't matter that I don't ever wanna provide any money, cause I'm a loving man.
Rashida disappears mid-date. Daquan's story is an unusual one. After 26 failed divorces and his current home being his dad's van, Daquan is on the search for the love of his life, and he has a dream that wife 27 is going to be the one and that he would know that she's the one because upon arrival she makes a joke about London traffic, which Rashida does. But you know what they say about London? City on fire, there's no parking up your tyres anyway. After Rashida doing this, Daquan is immediately smitten and decides that he's in love for the 27th time. Rashida and Daquan's outfits once again cost me £0 to make because I had the clothes and I borrowed the flat cap to play Daquan from my dad. Thanks, Dad. Episode 6. If I was the private investigator hired to catch men cheating. Here we meet Pepper Shadow, my personal favourite of the series, but not particularly favoured by you guys. Pepper Shadow is a private investigator that specialises in catching men cheat. Pepper used to work for a lady called Cora Manning. Cora runs the biggest private investigative service in the world, but now Pepper has left and she's going at it alone due to their morals not aligning, amongst other things. Spoiler alert, Pepper didn't always specialise in cheating men, but she actually used to work with people carrying mutagenic genes. Pepper's episode is an interesting one because it expands a little bit on the world that the series is all set in. We hear Pepper make reference to Thanos, yes, the Thanos. However, Pepper doesn't actually exactly know who he is. Pepper Shadow talks about attending a support group for people that have the desire to restore justice, which is where she talks about meeting Thanos. This poses the questions: what universe is Pepper Shadow actually from, and what universe is she currently in? No spoilers, Pepper Shadow's outfit cost me £0 to make.
We're gonna catch a cheetah, yes, we're gonna catch a cheetah. We're gonna catch a cheetah, then we're going out for pizza. We're gonna catch a cheetah, yes, we're gonna catch a cheetah. We're gonna catch a cheetah, then we're going out for pizza.
Episode 7, the final episode of season 1, If I Was Married to Dracula but He Cheated. And here we meet the vampire queen, Shelarevatwan Valentina Corspio, the character that you guys voted the most intimidating. However, she possibly isn't as bad as she seems. The vampire queen is the owner of the foundation One Bite, an organisation extending life to those who choose to become part of the vampire kingdom. Miss Corspio invites those that don't have access to healthcare especially, so that's kind of cool. The vampire queen runs a weekly podcast with over 1 million listeners where she gives specialist advice on how to deep clean. An interesting fact about Shelarevatwan is that she comes from the tribe of elite vampires, and these vampires can actually appear in the sun, similar to those that you see in Twilight. However, there are only 5 elite vampires. Shella Raverton's outfit cost me £30. The cape, the teeth, accessories, yada yada.
Oh Dracula, how could you betray me after all these years? 7 centuries you've been my only dear. How could you decide to let her suck your blood? Although you said you only tried, I almost died. Oh Dracula.
Moving on to season 2, we start off with episode 8 of the series, If I Was the Married Friend. Here we meet Serena and see Rashida for the second time. Now, Serena is 28 years old, works as an Instagram influencer, owns her own perfume line and runs a women's coaching service on how to find true love. She holds a level 2 in Reiki, which she's very, very vocal about, and believes that the only one stopping a person from finding true love is you. Although Serena is a little bit on the nose, she does genuinely seem happy to see Rashida, and considering the fact that these two were previously friends, there is still some history to be explored.
Don't you ever ask yourself why you're still so alone? Don't you ever ask yourself why no one calls your phone? I'll give you a clue. It's something to do with the common denominator. That's you.
The outfits for this episode came in at £0, my favourite number. Episode 9, If I Refuse to Answer Questions, possibly a non-character of the series. This character does not have a name because this character was designed to be overlooked by the audience. However, we will be needing them later on in the series, and that is all I can say. Keep in mind, the members of society that we deem crazy are often not crazy at all and know exactly what's going on if we take the time to listen to them.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do it for your mental health. You gotta look all around the room to find the answers inside yourself.
Do not judge my crazy character. We will be needing them later on. And yes, I know that that character is very, very strange. Episode 10, If I Was the Choir Leader. Brother, sister, Mr. Devotion. One service at a time, he raises our spirits up. I thought it was time to add a community leader to the series that uses faith as a foundation to unify, and I absolutely love that character.
Why you gotta take them so soon?
Why you gotta take them so soon?
You took Brother Baxter and Mama too.
Hey, then he left in a flash.
Once again, the outfits were £0. Episode 11, If I Was Jackie Briggs for Mortal Kombat. After fighting for many years in the game, Jackie makes her debut appearance as an artist. This was my first time using a character that already exists and adapting them into the musical, so I didn't feel to develop this character too much because they already exist inside the gaming universe. I had to build a background for this one, and apparently newspaper is really expensive now and really hard to find. So I had to build a background, and then I had to do props and accessories and character styling on top. So this episode cost me £28 to make.
My name's Jackie Briggs, and it doesn't matter who my father is, because I got these things on my wrist, and I do this when I block a hit. I walk into the room like this, and I lead in with my hips. And I know that everybody's looking at me because I know who I am, compare me to my daddy.
And that is currently where we are up to in the series. So now it is time for some honourable mentions, and these characters are characters that were either background characters in the episodes, or they have been in their own musical sketches that aren't directly part of the If series. So first things first, we have our backup singer that has featured twice now. In episode 1, she plays Bouchant de la Pasta's backup singer.
Creep, he's a creep.
Yes, love.
He's a creep, he's a creep. Take it to the choreography.
Yes, love.
He's a creep, he's a
And in episode 10, she is the backup singer for Brother, Sister, Mr. Devotion.
He's with me, he's with me, he's with me, he's with me, she's with you, 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 she's with you,
She is putting in the work, and I love that woman. Next we have Everest, who is the producer, who's being very, very brave off screen, asking provocative questions to the guests.
We should have listened to what Dracula told us about all of this. We are sorry, we're so sorry.
He said what? Everest interviews Shella Raverton and Flake Bush. Next we have that poor lady that just needed the bathroom, but apparently her urgency in needing the bathroom suddenly faded when she caught the answer and the beat simultaneously.
Love, harmony, peace, love, harmony.
We then have our characters from When Guys See a Brown Woman, Yasmin and the Unknown Singing Man, who you guys actually really liked.
Please do not do the thing.
Hey, chocolate shake, Miss Cocoa Bean, Miss Caramel, Miss Ebony, Miss In Between.
Next we have Flo Bliss, who has clearly joined a cult and is currently in the process of trying to get Mother Nature to adopt her whilst chasing imaginary chickens.
Mother Nature, please sign the adoption papers. Mother Nature, please sign the adoption papers. Mother Nature.
And finally we have Miles and his mother. Miles is the angry kid that you all felt should be inside the series.
Right, that's it, Miles, that's absolutely it. That is the final straw. You will not offend me through song. I'm taking your laptop too, and you're not going out to with Miles, don't you dare fight people that aren't there. Stop it. You said this wouldn't happen again. Miles, don't you dare stop Miles.
So if you've made it this far with me, I thank you deeply. I make videos every single week, so please consider subscribing to this very tiny peasant. For those of you that are already subscribed and continue to support my work, I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you. Look after yourself. I hope that you all achieve your dreams and have excellent morning breath. Okay, bye.
Sayonara.